Welcome to the Get It Done podcast, where you'll find me, Bradley Simmons, weight loss and fitness expert, chatting to other experts on why health is the key to success. If you haven't heard of our 5 pillars that get it done, they are mental, physical, emotional, social, and financial health. This podcast is going to help you build your 5 pillars, and therefore is going to build your success and, most importantly, your happiness. Let's get it done. Andrew, it's brilliant to have you on the Get It Done podcast. Please just introduce yourself quickly to the audience, who you are, what you specialize in,
Okay.
and yeah, go for it.
Okay. So, dad first,
Yeah, nice.
coach, speaker, and work with a lot of professionals in high pressure jobs, and helping them with developing resilience by way of looking at physical health, mental and emotional health, and
Nice.
it's something I've been doing for quite some time. I was working at Nuffield Health as
It's a very good gym chain.
health and wellbeing physiologist there. So I'd be the guy that would look at people's lifestyles, do their cholesterol, do their blood work, and all of that jazz,
Okay.
and then send off my findings to the insurance companies for their life insurance policies.
Oh, wow.
So
So you saw a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot coming through, and I noticed there was just like repeat customers, and nothing was changing. So you could give people the plans and just say, look, this is what you need to do. But it was, I got to a point where I was just seeing the same people over, and nothing was changing.
Yeah.
And
So they knew what they needed to be doing, but they just didn't have the
Yeah, I think
accountability to do it.
yeah, that's a very
And
common
I think a lot
theme.
of it's very common. I
Yeah.
think 90% of my clientele know exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
And when I have a conversation with them, I'm like, well, you know what you need to be doing? It's just accountability. It's someone to talk to, someone to give them a program, give them a kick up the backside where they need it, or remind them why they're doing this.
Yeah, and for me, it was that. It was the frustration of what's stopping people.
Yeah.
And I thought, actually, if I go back and just look at my psychology stuff that I did at college and then went on to university, I thought the crux of it is people not. It's like that mentality towards it. Isn't it? They know what to do. They've got the plan, but why are they not doing it? So I approached the powers that be at Nuffield, and they weren't too keen on that.
Really?
So,
Okay.
I should probably not have named them. But
No, that's fine. You
Nuffield,
can name them. That's
you
fine.
can edit
That's
that out.
fine.
Anyway, but so I went out on my own. I thought, actually, let's start affecting
Good.
change. And
So, quick question: understanding resilience. What is
Okay.
resilience? Just so people have never maybe heard the term before.
Okay. Well, for me, it's I would say it's a state of psychological flexibility. Your ability to bounce back from adversity, your ability to get back on track with whatever it may be. There's going to be inevitable hardships and challenges that you face, but how are you dealing with them? Can you stay on course? Can you stay on track, or do you not have resilience, and does it completely throw you off and take you off onto
Slippery slope.
a negative
Yeah.
trajectory? Yeah. So that for me is
And that can be what work-wise. That can be building a business. It could be obviously relationship-wise
Absolutely.
and sporting as well.
or all 4 of them at the same time.
Yes. Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
And I'm sure you've had clients that's happened to.
Well, I've had that myself last
Okay.
year, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is
Yeah.
just to, I suppose, practice what I preach.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, well, how do I deal with this when you're going through work tribunal? How do you deal with this when you're going through a divorce, or one of your parents is unwell in hospital, and then combine that all into like a window of a month or two? I'm just like, okay, but then for me, it was like, okay, I feel handling this strangely well, but it's just because I've developed that over time, and it's something that I go through with my clients.
Yeah, of course. Because that Get It Done, we talk about the 5 pillars of health, where it's physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. And when we talk about resilience, are we more talking in that emotional bracket?
I think it's combination that I'd say emotional has a big part of it. I think it's it's almost imperceptible. It's not really spoken about.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some stigma with guys about approaching that subject, but ultimately, it's part and parcel of being a human being.
Yeah,
And
of
to
course.
try and shut that off is counterproductive and to an extent damaging. But if you're not regulated in that, not having that emotional intelligence, then you're only going to reach a certain level before it.
And with emotional intelligence, because I think this is a new phrase that's been put out there in the world, which is brilliant because a lot of people
Okay.
need to learn about emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
That's something that comes with maturity and age and experiences.
I think for me, it's something that comes with, I think, emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's embedded if like, part of your parenting. How did your parents
Yeah.
deal with stress?
It's true.
How did they show you how to deal with your emotions? Were you invalidated with your emotions? Were you told you're not feeling that? Were you told that that's a bad emotion, a good
Mm-hmm.
emotion? Were you fortunate enough to have parents where they would allow you to express that emotion and
Mhm.
just go, okay, well, you're going through this. I'm here. Let's process that together. It's your experience. But then knowing that would help you out.
Did you know that 1 in 5 have a gym membership but don't actually go? If you're listening and that sounds all too familiar, I have the solution. Get It Done, my wellness app, provides you with the choice between personalized gym guides, Goal Pacific guides, and hundreds of home workouts. You'll also get exclusive access to our community events and retreats. So whether it's time to cancel your gym membership and work out at home, or bring some structure and success to your gym schedule, the GID app can do just that for £18.99 a month. Not only that, we provide recipes and nutritional guidance so you can partner your workout regime with the right meal plans for optimal results. Life's too short to pay for a gym membership you're not using. It's time to get it done. I think your
Literally
upbringing is
later in life.
so important.
Oh,
Like for
yeah.
me as an individual, I felt I was youngest of 4.
Okay.
So the older sister and 2 older brothers. And I feel like I'm a resilient person simply because of my upbringing, because my brothers toughened me up.
Okay.
My mum and dad, they probably were, when James and Elliot, my older 2 brothers, were growing up, they probably were like concerned and worried about them a lot more than they were with me. We got to the youngest one, they were like, you go and do your thing.
Okay.
So I was very independent.
Nice.
We was all from sporting background. So my oldest brother James was at Chelsea, Elliot was at Brentford, my sister was playing for Brentford, and I was at Chelsea.
Oh, okay.
But I was getting picked up by one of the coaches rather than my parents taking me.
Right.
So that independence came from a very young age where I didn't need my parents to be there. I didn't need to be relying on other people for me to perform or to have, I don't know, a clap on the back. I just did it myself.
Yeah.
Whereas my brother, for example, and he won't mind me saying this, always needs validation. He
Okay.
always needs a second opinion. He always needs, before he makes a big decision, make sure he's got other people's opinions on that decision.
Okay.
And it goes to show, for me, I feel like your upbringing it kind of makes you who you are.
Where do you think you got that independence? Where do you think you sort of strayed away? Do you know what I mean? From your brothers?
Yeah, I think it's just from a young age, is not having, I don't know, someone to the side of me just making sure I was okay all the time.
Okay.
And I kind of built my resilience. Like I can make decisions myself, and people, and I was like, yeah, I've made this decision. And I was like, well, have you spoken to him? I was, no, I know that's the right decision for me. And if it's not, I'll learn from it.
Okay.
That's how I am as a person.
That's interesting. Like that your brothers have, let's say, not developed or acquired that or not had that.
Yeah, for example, like my brother James, again, he won't mind me saying this.
Or James.
He'll ring my mum 3 times a day.
Okay.
And that's fine. And I'll get a phone call from my mum 3 times a day. Very different.
Wow.
And I think everyone's different.
Yeah.
But it maybe was our upbringing, because of my obviously being the youngest of 4 and he was the oldest of 4. Did we have a different upbringing?
Yeah. Did you? Did you notice like was there a difference like between your upbringings?
Well, obviously there was the same love there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes to maybe, like for example, my brother James can play the piano. He can speak a different language, and he's a very good swimmer. Got to me and my mum was like, I can't be asked for all that. Do you understand? So
Okay.
yeah. And
That's
I'm not sure.
interesting.
Maybe it was my resilience grown from a young age, just having that independence.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good thing to have. You know that independence. Do you know what I mean? And not being reliant on someone.
Mhm.
That's part of being a resilient human being. Is that ability to make a decision for yourself, and not require validation. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you sort of self-validate and just check it with yourself.
And people that right now, for example, who are struggling with maybe the word resilience or understanding that if they have resilience or not, how does someone build resilience? Because we can look at it going, all right, well, give yourself a challenge. Go and train for a marathon. That's going to build resilience.
Yeah.
Go and get yourself an ice bath. That's going to build resilience.
Yeah.
Is it easy as that?
I wouldn't say it's as easy as that. Although those things will contribute, they'll definitely augment your resilience because it's doing. I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a mindset, like let's say an acceptance of certain things around, I don't know, events or things that happen in your life, and how do you interpret that? How do you process that? Is it that's it, the world is over, or do you say actually this is happening, I get to choose from what happens going forward? So I think it's an outlook. I think you've got to have that sort of mentality around things, but at the same time, I think being regulated, like emotionally, is it too much?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to have a burnout essentially?
Of course, that can happen.
That's too much there, too much stress, and then I think doing things that you'd, how would I put it, rather not do. I don't like cold shower.
Mm-hmm. No one likes a cold shower, right?
No one likes
sitting in an ice bath for 3 minutes.
But I love the feeling afterwards.
Yes, that dopamine feeling.
yeah,
It's that sense of achievement.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you're choosing to do something, and you are, let's say, strengthening. Some people call it grit. Some people call it willpower.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, you're strengthening that part of you.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I think you're realizing that you're more capable than what you think you are.
yeah. I think when you do these things and you achieve challenges, it's a good sense of achievement, and but it is doing that stuff that you'd rather not do.
Yeah.
When your mind is saying, just quit.
Yeah.
It's too hard. It's too painful, and you choosing to pursue and keep going with that. I think that augments your resilience.
Yeah.
No end.
Like when I transform my clients, for example, they come for me because they want to transform their physique, right?
Okay.
But before they know it, after doing, let's say, 8 months of coaching with me, they've built their confidence, not only because they look better, but because they've built that discipline within themselves to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah.
And they're proud of themselves for doing it.
The body's a byproduct.
Exactly. The body is a byproduct. So by the end of the transformation, I said, your transformation in your physique is just a byproduct of you actually transforming your mindset.
Yeah.
And the way you look at things and your discipline and that growth. Because unfortunately in today's world, everyone's living a very sedentary lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's in a sense of stress or anxiety. Cortisol levels are quite high. Obviously, financially, things are more difficult.
Yeah.
Weather's not great right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's getting colder, darker months. So it is doing those things you don't want to do, which is actually going to build your happiness, which is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. It is that. Some people call it willpower.
Mm-hmm.
You are just, by doing certain things that you'd rather not do, you're just, let's say, you're building that resilience. You're keeping your, let's say, the higher logic and reason part of your brain online.
Yeah.
Taking some stress off the limbic system and stopping that from taking over, and that stress and the emotional part. But it's dealing with that discomfort and choosing to do the things that are uncomfortable as opposed to the comfortable thing. Because if you keep on choosing that comfort, I said comfort's like a saucepan of hot water that you're in, and it gradually gets warmer and warmer and warmer until you're boiling, and then you're boiled alive.
Yeah, and then you're like,
and
fuck.
For me,
have you any personal experiences where you can discuss, obviously, where you had to build resilience?
So divorce is a big one. That's after and you've got kids and you've got a house, and you're like, wow. And like I said, that was a simultaneous with a work tribunal, and also like my one of my parents in hospital
Okay, wow.
Or,
Also, you
I was
had a
like,
whole
"Ooh, okay."
cocktail of.
So yeah, and then I don't know if you've seen that meme where there's that dog in a room and it's on fire, and he's like, "This is fine," but I genuinely felt that it was all right. I was prepared for that. All these eventualities. I was like, okay, well, what next? And don't get me wrong, I'm not Mr. Spock and just shutting down and just going, right, well, I don't feel anything here. Quite the opposite. I'm willing to accept that pain that comes with all of these uncomfortable situations. And I think that's it. It's that willingness to accept that discomfort around it. Call it like a pain dial, like turning that all the way up and just going, let's be willing to experience
rather
this.
than turn it off and
Rather
seeing,
than just going, oh, no, I don't want that.
which a lot of men do. They tend to go towards
yeah.
alcohol, or they
Yeah,
completely switch it
so
off, pretend they're
suppressing
happy.
it.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
suppressing it.
Yeah. Just,
And then one day a volcano.
Yeah, and there's your burnout. There's your.
So you're
breakdown.
saying resilience is actually dealing with it, accepting it, and then bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm ready to tackle it.
Yeah, because you have the emotional intelligence to process that,
Mhm.
because you have the mindset and outlook to be able to deal with these eventualities, rather than, I think it's perception and framing. You know, this happens. You're just like, okay, well, what do I do? As opposed to like an emotional reaction, you know, an intelligent response that's not going to throw you off course or derail you. I think practicing certain things.
I would say about 90% of my clientele know exactly what they need to do with their physical health and their nutrition, but what they lack is accountability. And that's where I step in as an online coach. I give you your tailored program, your meal plan, and I give you that guidance and support throughout the whole journey to make sure that you get the results that you want and you progress to a stronger, healthier, resilient individual. So if you want to step things up and really improve the way you feel, the way you look, then my online coaching is for you. So if you want to receive 25% off my online coaching, simply click the link in the description of this podcast, complete the inquiry form, and type transformation to make sure that you receive your 25% discount. I'll be in touch. We'll have a video call so I can understand a little bit more about yourself. I'll explain how my online coaching works, and then we'll get to work and we'll get it done. Life is too short not to feel at your very best. And what are those certain things, like when it comes to your physical health? Did you make sure you was on top of that?
Yeah. I don't think I missed a gym session. Well, I went away on an expedition for a little while, a couple of months. And but prior to that, I don't think I missed a gym session for goodness how many years.
And that's not because you want to look ripped. It's because it's important for your mental health.
Yeah, it's important.
Or a dealing mechanism.
So for me, I'm doing that as an example for my son.
Okay.
I'm just like, look, I've as a dad, I've got to set the example here. So I'm going to do this, and sure enough, when it's time to go to the gym, I'm not clicking my heels together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not motivated. I would say I'm a motivated individual, but that takes time of doing things that I'd rather not do for a protracted period. I'm just like, you build that motivation. It's not like a January the 1st, I'm motivated.
Yeah.
That's excitement and willingness to the prospect of change.
Yeah.
Whereas motivation, you have to build. So for me, yeah, I put my health first. Like I said, just ensuring that I am practicing things that will augment and develop my physical, mental, and emotional health, and not just do simple little things every day. It could be cold. It could be.
So were you doing a lot of cold therapy?
Yeah, I do that every day.
Still today, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was a trend and everyone was jumping on it.
Oh, really?
At one point, yeah, it was a trend. I still do it most days, not every day. I've got a chill tub on my balcony.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. I see the River Thames and it's fucking freezing right now.
Yeah.
You get that wind down your spine.
Okay.
It's a lot easier when you're in Bali or Dubai doing it.
Okay.
So that definitely builds resilience because you don't want to do it and it's painful that 3 minutes, but it's that dopamine after, which is incredible.
I often giggle to myself when I'm stepping out of a cold shower.
Yeah.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
And equivalent to some drugs. But it's a natural high, and the benefits are that all of those catechinoids, the feel good
Well, it's the serotonin.
neurotransmitters
Yeah.
that are released.
Yeah.
They don't fall below baseline. So your alcohol, your smoking, your
Mhm.
drugs, you'll get the high, but then you get the low.
Well,
So
that's
there is no low
yeah.
with. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
do
there's
that
no-
for
yeah.
a minute every day, feel good, and for several hours, like on this high, which helps with work. You know, I go in
Mhm.
to start work very energized. Run every morning.
Nice.
Yeah, it's sort of
I think being nature
Goes-
is so important.
yeah, definitely. There's an element, you know, there's all sorts of benefits to that. And
How long are you running for? 5, 10K?
I do 20 at the moment. I do 25 minutes every morning.
25 minutes. Yeah.
So it's a nice loop.
So like 3K. Nice.
But
3, 4K.
the onus on that is just being in silence.
Yeah.
I'm not going out there to think. I'm going out there to for like a sensory experience. But it's nice, you know, people
Mm.
follow you and they message you and they say it's helpful what you're putting out. And you're like, that's brilliant because
Mhm.
that's the objective, to contribute. For me, I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. You know, if I get that.
Yeah.
But the journaling thing, it's what I'm processing. It's just like a conclusion to my day. I'll just a bit of gratitude thrown in there. I will be like, oh, okay, well, what am I grateful for? With an emphasis on what someone's done for me in the day. You know, act of kindness. I'm just like, they didn't have to do that, but they did that. So I'll focus on that when I'm journaling about gratitude, and then I'll also include something that where emotions got the better of me. Maybe it's been, you know, it's very rare now
Mhm.
because I've been doing it for so long. But yeah, I'll write about that. Be like, okay, and it's not a judgment thing. I'm not saying, you know, like judging myself for it. It's just an awareness, and I think that's where most people struggle with change, because they beat themselves up about it. They'll be like, oh, I've had this and I've had this, so I'm such and blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And they just that, you know, beat themselves up over it. But if you're just noticing, and then just let's say an awareness of how you felt about it. So writing about that, just, oh yeah, I had that, or I did that, or I got angry and shouted at them, and it made me feel like that. That's it for me. That awareness of it is when you will subconsciously start changing, because how you felt about it, not beating yourself up and saying, oh, you know, this or this, and
Yeah.
need to change it. You don't. You just need to.
So acknowledging your mistakes and writing it down and reading over it, and then that
it's
would,
just
yeah,
an awareness
yeah.
and just like the feelings around it, and then you'll start to make a change.
Maybe I'll start journaling. It could be,
Go for it.
yeah, 100%. You believe people that are going through a tough time like you had done
Yeah,
should find that routine and structure, and that will help them.
absolutely. Yeah, because if you don't have to think. Like, at that point, there's a lot of emotional processing going on. You're like, oh, okay, what's going to happen with the house? What's going to happen with the kids?
Mhm.
Got to go to this meeting with this person, got to get my rep, and blah, blah, blah. And there's so much going on that these decisions are going to be impacted, like your day-to-day, like sort of your health stuff. So I just like, I don't have
That's
to
been done.
think
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, of course.
I just have to follow through. And it's because it was embedded, ingrained in me, didn't stop. And that was when my following took off. I was just like the other side of that. You know, these challenges that people would, you know, a lot of people from maybe one of those things might just go upstairs and hide under the covers. And I'm like, oh, let's see how you deal with all three.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, yeah, I was happy. And I was like, okay, didn't miss any of that structural routine throughout the whole thing. And that is, yeah, that helped me massively.
Yeah.
I think the things that bring me the most joy cost me £10.
And what are they?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. So
Yeah,
are you
cost
into jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
That builds resilience.
yeah, that's quite tough.
I
When
think
you've got
you're-
someone trying to choke you or strangle you or bend
Yeah.
your arm the wrong way.
I've
Yeah,
done a few sessions, and it definitely targets your ego for sure.
Yeah,
Which is a good thing. It's massively, and
Yeah.
you're surrounded by a lot of other-minded people that are trying to better themselves as well.
yeah.
Which is good.
It's
There's a lot of respect in that.
yeah, I
realm.
think it's an element of regulation in it as well.
Mm.
You know, it's like quite scary when you've got some dude that knows what he's doing, he's trying to, you know, literally choke you
get you to tap out.
unconscious.
Yeah.
And you have to focus on not panicking and not that emotional side, and just think logic and reason. Actually, I'm going to just bridge here, or I'm going to just create this frame here, put my arm around here, and you have to sort of. It is really good for that. So I do that. That costs me 10
Well,
minutes.
that's like a metaphor for life. Come up with solutions.
Yeah, I suppose.
So when it's in difficult times, you got to think of solutions rather than giving up and just going, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. I think there's, when I first started, that panic sort of sets in. You're just trying to sort of push with like brute strength, and then that gets you in trouble. But that's
another thing about jiu-jitsu I love is like it's not always a power; it's about skill.
Yeah, it's a skill.
Skill.
Guys half my side, but years more skill on me, and they just fold me into a pretzel.
yeah. And how long have you been doing it for?
15 months.
15 months.
Yeah. So just started.
So a few more years until the black belt.
It's just those simple things that you appreciate. That car or house is you'll feel good initially.
Yeah, and then novelty wears off.
And the novelty wears off. You're just like, I've done this to maybe impress this person or keep up with this person. Then I've got that, job, or I've got that, I've, bought that thing. And then all of a sudden the realization is it's a bit hollow. And then you just return to the sort of baseline.
So true, isn't it? I think the baseline is family is so key.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. Family, close friends, and, just building those connections. Really, it's we're very social creatures.
Do you always have something in the diary? I always say to my friends and family, and even to my clients, said, have something in the diary to look forward to. That's going to keep, obviously, especially if you've got a job that you don't necessarily enjoy. I always advise do your best to come up with a solution to maybe come out of that, start something different.
Yeah.
But if you are in a situation where you can't afford to do that, then always make sure you have something in the diary to look forward to.
Yeah, it's good to have something to look forward to. I'll book in something at the end of the year, be it like some sort of challenge.
Nice.
Again, like a resilience building thing. So it could be marathon, could be climb a mountain, could be jiu-jitsu competition,
nice.
Could be powerlifting, could be I did a bodybuilding thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to try all these things.
And that keeps you motivated as well. If you have a challenge ahead, so I've got the Paris Marathon in April.
Oh, nice.
So what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to up my running, I'm going to have to up my strength training.
Before?
Yeah, I've done London Marathon twice.
Oh, sweet.
And I've got the half marathon in Dubai, so the Burj to Burj, which is very hot.
Okay.
And I was recently in Dubai, and you do 10K, and I literally have melted.
Right.
In 40-degree heat at 8 in the morning. Mental. Complete. And that's builds your resilience as well. And then I came back to the UK, and I did a 10K in my fastest time because I've trained in extremely hot circumstance, which has made my body tougher, more resilient. Come back to the UK, this is easy.
Yeah.
Again, the sign of build resilience, challenge yourself, get outside your comfort zone for you to be better off.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing, just stepping outside of that comfort zone. And there's a bit of resistance when we go to do that internally.
Accountability is most people's downfall when it comes to reaching health and fitness goals. You've got the gym membership, you've got the best intentions, you know what you want to achieve, but you just can't seem to stay consistent, so you give up or settle for little or no results. My one-to-one coaching is designed to create a specific plan for you to follow with your goals in mind. But with the added bonus of regular check-ins and communication, you will have the accountability you're missing and therefore no choice but to level up and get it done. So if you're listening to this episode and it's time to level up, hold yourself accountable and get the results you want, I'll give you 20% off my one-to-one coaching. All you have to do is include the word transform in your inquiry form, link in the episode description. Yes. I've got some quotes here.
Oh, okay.
Do you live off quotes? You like quotes? Or do you think they're a bit cheesy?
I don't mind a quote.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts.
Nice.
As we were just saying, right?
Yeah.
Being resilient is so much easier when you surround by the right people.
Agree.
Yeah, so a lot of people out there who are going through tough times and not necessarily speaking out or seeking the help from their friends and loved ones. What would your advice be to them?
It'll be like a pride thing. Usually, when someone's in a position to, where they're struggling and they're not asking for help, that's just pride and ego.
Yeah.
Getting in the way of that. And if you can we take solace in the fact that everyone will need some help at some point. It's not a one-player game. It's just, we're all in this together. If you can find someone to expedite where you are to where you want to be, then consult that person. Just say, look, I want, or I'm struggling with this. How have you achieved that? But it's doing your homework and just making sure that you're choosing the right person, someone that has experienced or has achieved what you want to achieve, rather than just taking it anyone like sort of at face value. Just ensure, because if they haven't, they can't advise.
Of course.
It's just like theory, and that's where experience comes in. You're just like, well, I've experienced that, so I can tell you exactly what you're going to go through to attain that. Whereas, when it's from a book, you can theorize, but it's just articulating, what you will go through, and people will resonate with that.
Yeah, I think so, massively. Here's another one. Resilience is all about being able to overcome the unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of these things in life you're blindsided by, and you're just like, oh, okay, now what?
Yeah.
What am I going to do going forward? How do I deal with this? And like you said, treating it as a problem to be solved, as opposed to this
end of the world panic.
Yeah, that's it. We can, a lot of people lose their heads and just can't deal with it. But if you can build that resilience to deal with these things, then you're good.
But it goes back to you have to put yourself in a position where you're physically, mentally, emotionally in a good, healthy place to deal with these scenarios.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this right now and you're thinking, I'm not very physically fit, I don't really look after my nutrition, I don't really do anything to challenge myself.
Yeah.
When something unexpected happens, you will likely struggle more than someone who potentially is in a good mental place.
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna see that adversity is insurmountable. It's gonna be something you're not prepared for, and highly unlikely that you'll deal with it well.
Yeah.
But if you've built up that resilience and tolerance, then it almost gets to a point where you're like, okay, well, good, this is another challenge. I think it just strengthens your mind, like the adversity. It's like weights and cardio, strengthen the body. All these challenges and adversity will strengthen your mind. But it's seeing that obstacle as like, oh, okay, that's something that I need to go get over and tackle, as opposed to avoid, and just having that perspective on it, that it's that's how you're going to progress and achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, 100%. And I've got another one here. Resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and responsibility to pick yourself up. Because at the end of the day, right, you could seek the help from others, you can be motivated by others, but at the end of the day, it comes down to yourself.
Yeah, you're making that choice. No one's going to get you there. It might, God knows what it will take. It might take a lot of pain and suffering for you to go, actually, this is unsustainable. I need to make a change here. Because most people just live at a level of like comfort and dissatisfaction. That's just not painful enough for them to go, actually, I need to start making some changes. And it will usually takes something for them to go, this is
well, physically wise, it takes a lot of people to go to the doctor for them to say, well, your physical fat is in a dangerous level. For them to go, okay, I need a change. Rather than not realising that the lifestyle they're living isn't healthy, surely you need to make a change. Sometimes it takes that doctor to tell you, you are in a really bad state. And that's bad. Why are humans like that? Is it in your environment again? Is it seeing that everyone else is in that same situation as you, so you don't feel like you're in a bad position?
Yeah. Who said it? I think it was Naval Ravikant said that when everyone's sick, it's no longer a disease.
Okay.
I was like, oh yeah, because everyone,
Everyone's in the same boat.
everyone's in the same boat. It's fine. Do you know what? It's the norm,
Mhm.
as opposed to everyone's is pretty
Yeah.
sick.
So how important do you think is your environment is so important?
Yeah, it's pretty huge.
It's huge, isn't it?
It's it takes something for you to step away from it and realise it, and
Yeah.
just go, oh, actually, this is not conducive to me being in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, when it again comes back to your physical health, if you want to improve your physical health, make sure you're surrounded by people that improve their physical health on a daily basis,
Yeah.
because they're going to rub off you. When
Yeah.
it comes to financial health, maybe put yourself in a room where people know what they're talking about, or
Yeah.
they're in that world, and you're going to pick their brains.
Yeah.
And you're going to be around that hustle, which is going to give you that motivation to hustle also.
Yeah. I think that's it. It's just you look for that congruence with that person. And you're just like, well, are you, like you said, are you someone that's into their health? Are you in good shape? Yeah. So that will rubber. That
Yeah.
becomes like an accepted practice. It's like a sort of like a social commitment with to them. Or like you said, the financial thing. Speak to people that have achieved that, and let's say financial security,
Or invest in a course, or invest in a mentorship
Yeah.
to give you the skills that you need.
yeah, definitely. It is just. It's just
I think in life it's about stepping outside your comfort zone all the time. If you ever get comfortable, sometimes you have to be comfortable in certain scenarios, but if you want to progress, you constantly have to step out that comfort zone.
yeah.
Like you've got a comfort zone, as in like you go for your run, you do your food. That's just that's more structure and routine.
Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself now stepping outside your comfort zone? I guess for the jiu-jitsu's one, challenging yourself, climbing mountains is another one.
Yeah, that's quite challenging. You're, in a very inhospitable environment.
Yeah.
Just like,
And do you think you'd struggle mentally if you didn't step outside your comfort zone on a regular basis?
the things that I do as part of my day are the routine structure, but they are things that I'd rather not do. So I think those things. If I stopped doing that, then I would struggle.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be as resilient, let's say. And then, just have the mindset to go with it. I've had, previous partners, cancer a few times, and you're just like, oh, okay. And you sit on a chemo ward at Royal Marsden, and you just like, oh, okay, this is,
Yeah.
But it's just, how do I? Does that affect me? Do I keep going with that? What's the mindset around it? Be grateful for that you're that they're still with you, and maybe the person that was in the bed last time you came wasn't.
Yeah, of course.
there
Yeah.
anymore.
So always try and look at the positive out the negatives.
Yeah, I think just if you're grateful, if you practice that gratitude, that alleviates a lot of doubt and fear. It can't coexist. So that's why I practice it every day. So just those little things.
Yeah,
And
little
it's just-
things.
and It's
It's
not
little
a
things,
big
yeah,
commitment.
yeah.
It's not a big commitment. I'm talking like a minute here of doing this, 2 minutes here of doing that, 5 minutes of here of doing that. Just integrating them into your day. These, let's say, uncomfortable things, but really good for mental and emotional, physical health. If you just, it doesn't have to be this life-changing event come January the 1st. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week, twice a day. No, you're not. Well, you might do for the first week.
Yeah.
But the second week, you're not going to be
No.
there. And it's too much of an overhaul. So if you can just gradually introduce these small things, just stack and build and change those habits, as opposed to like a complete.
Which so many
Over.
people do. January the 1st, they go, all right, complete change, and they fall off the bandwagon so quickly, don't they?
Yeah.
There needs to be a realistic approach. There needs
Yeah.
to be, I always say, like, let's ease into it. Let's
Yeah.
gradually, small goals that lead to that big goal that you want to achieve.
I call it the minimum effective dose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the least you can do?
Yeah.
Like 1 session a week, 2 sessions.
Hit your 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah.
Drink more water.
1 minute of cold.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like these little things,
Mhm.
so small that they're thinking, is this actually going to make a difference? But it's not the thing. It's the consistency with that thing that makes the difference.
And and also, oh, it's another achievement. It's another achievement, and it builds that self-esteem and pride,
Yeah,
and that builds.
yeah. They look back and they're like, actually, I've been keeping this going. Whereas the previous years, I've binned it off after January the 10th.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's now March or April, and I'm still going with these things.
Yeah.
I feel so much better for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just those small changes and habits. Just introduce, like I said, right down to the smallest little thing, and that's how you're consistent with them.
Yeah, love it. I'm actually going to start gelling now.
Do it.
I'm going to give it a go for a week and see how it does for me.
Well, just go for as long as you can.
Yeah.
It's just you doing it once. I do it when.
And is there a format that you follow when you journal? Is it?
Yeah, it's like a 3-2-1 method I've developed.
Okay, talk
So
me
it's
through it.
three elements of gratitude. Write down 3 things that someone or something that's happened in your day with an emphasis on someone doing something for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, they didn't have to do this littlest thing
Okay.
that you're grateful for. So three things of those. 2 things is where, let's say, I have let emotion get the better of me. 1 thing that I've done today that's very important. And then the 1 is the thing that I need to do tomorrow, the uncomfortable thing.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Give it all.
Okay, I'll give it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll make sure I will.
Commit.
I will commit. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I practice what I preach. I'll commit.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
nice. Well, mate, coming to the end of the podcast episode now, we always end with one question. What is your key to success?
My key to success, I would say, resilience.
Resilience.
Yeah, I would say
Love it.
resilience. You have to be a resilient person, because success isn't just going to fall at your feet. It's going to be you being consistent with course of action, and there will be knockbacks. There will be things come at you that you don't see, and you being resilient and being able to deal with those aids your consistency, and it's with that consistency. So, yeah, I think that's it for me.
Smashed it. Love it.
Sweet.
Great answer. All right, mate. Class having you on the podcast. I'm sure we'll do it again soon.
Yeah. Cheers. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.